As a child, I always wanted to dance. We'd dance around the living room. We had classes in the Masonic Temple, and it would smell like beer when we came in the morning, and we just used an old chair to hang on to, and had homemade outfits. It's nothing like it is these days. It was very bare minimum anything. I grew up in Staten Island, New York. I guess I started taking classes when I was about 8 or 9. I used to ride my bike there. It was the Masonic Temple. It was on the top. My uncles had a bowling alley underneath it, so I would go down there afterwards and sit at the bar and eat peanuts after my class. I performed as a young woman in vaudeville when she was younger. She was in vaudeville with her father and uncle. Sister who was an actress and model, and I always was jealous of her because she seemed, I was 3 years younger, and she seemed to always get the leading roles. And
my parents are from Italy, so they're from the old country. They come from Torrissimo, which is a little town halfway between Rome and the northern part of Italy. I have one natural brother and 4 stepbrothers. I grew up in Camden, New Jersey, in the Italian section, and everything we did there, we did in the streets. So we had to learn how to play baseball, football, and everything else in the street. I had a lot of fun as a child. I grew up in a very poor neighborhood, and so I needed to have a very good imagination. I started dancing after I had gone to drama school because my teacher had turned around and said, my teacher had said to me, I walked like I was a gorilla because I came from a very tough neighborhood, so I walked like that. And she thought I should take up fencing to have more grace when I walked on stage, but I couldn't find any fencing classes in Camden, so I took up some dance classes, and I thought that would. And then I became very interested in it and stayed with it for a long time.
My childhood was interesting because I wasn't in one place for very long. Both my parents were performers, and they would have to take me where they were performing. So I went to Caracas, Venezuela. I lived in Portugal for a summer, I think. I learned Portuguese. This is all before I started school. And usually I would sleep in the dressing rooms while my mom was out performing, and the showgirls and the showboys would kind of babysit me, take care of me, look after me. Had a lot of people around me all the time. We just traveled, and it was very exciting. They decided not to push me to do anything because they both did that as a profession, and they didn't want me to have to go into what they were doing. So I just did it for fun. Basically, I loved to do it, and I would take lessons, and I didn't take it all that seriously. Being around a lot of people in the business, like my parents and my grandparents, I kind of knew what it took to be a dancer, and I didn't have enough drive at that time that I wanted to do it. So they didn't push me to do it. I just took my classes and enjoyed it and studied other things.
after college, I auditioned and made the first alternate for How to Succeed in Business. But then I met this guy when we were auditioning and everything at Summer Stock. His name was Tony, and we formed a dance team. My best time was with the dance team because we could do what we wanted to do. We choreographed our own numbers. We saw we've been to so many countries all over dancing.
I started as an actor. I was an actor for many years. I did musicals and a lot of drums, and I went to New York City, and I studied for a couple of more years. Got a job for my first job in what was called Summer Theater, and I met my wife there. We didn't like each other too much in the beginning, but you know, time went by, and we decided we should hook up and do a dance act.